So I'm going to talk about the large final output product from the extension team of REACCH, and that is a book that is still forthcoming in terms of when it'll be published, and that's Advances in Dryland Farming in the Inland Pacific Northwest. And I'm going to give credit to a number of people, but in particular Georgine, who's the one that really ramrodded the whole thing. So the team, kind of like the whole project with a whole bunch of people that contributed. This may be one piece that more people contributed to than anything else in the project in terms of one specific product. I'm not even sure what the final number of people that contributed as authors and co-authors, as well as providing data and input and reviewing. We really bogged down the WSU Extension publication system trying to get this thing through, and it didn't go quite as fast as we wanted it to, which is why it's still not in print yet. But phenomenal undertaking, a level of appreciation to everybody who contributed and everybody who bought in and said they wanted to contribute to this particular publication. And Ian told me at one point, he says, in 10 to 20 years when we look back on this, this is going to be a really valuable resource that we put out. So a little bit about what it looks like. As Sanford said earlier, we cut the sustainable from the title because it's a little bit redundant in the title. There are 12 chapters: climate considerations, soil health, conservation tillage systems, crop residue management, rotational diversification and intensification, soil fertility management, soil amendments, precision ag, integrated weed management, disease management for wheat and barley, insect management strategies, and then finally farm policy and the role of decision support tools. So you can see from a comprehensive perspective, this really covers all the areas that the project worked in. Given that so many publications are still yet to come out of the project, we probably need to start thinking very seriously about the update that we'll do on this in about 5 years. A little bit of history, even back when we were thinking about, planning for the project and writing the proposal, I was digging around and looked at a couple of historic resources that have been available in the region for dryland farmers, the Conservation Tillage Handbook and then the STEEP project reports, which kind of took over for the Tillage Handbook. And what became really obvious is the vast majority of that work was at least 20 years old by the time, we were 15 to 20 years old when we were starting the REACCH project. And at that time I said, what we need to do is revise this into one kind of updated tool, and that was really the genesis of the idea for Advances. It turned out to be a much more challenging and gargantuan effort than even I was thinking about it. We did use the agroecological classifications as kind of a lens through which to think about everything that's in the book, and so there's actually symbolism throughout the book that kind of points to the AECs to help you think about what research is relevant to what location that we present in the book. There's two major themes in the book, as you saw from the chapters. The first is building soil health, and we've talked a lot about this issue, and so several of the chapters, the first 7 chapters really focus on this question of building soil health, and then the other major theme in the book is nutrient management and integrated pest management. And those are actually 2 separate themes, but in terms of blocking what we presented in the book, I did present this at the Direct Seed Conference and then had several REACCH PIs join in panels in 2 sections, and I thought we got a pretty good response. In fact, the number of people who followed up and said, when that's ready, I want it, was pretty good. So the chapters that are really focused on that second set of themes of fertility management and crop protection, and then, of course, the farm policies and role for decision support tools, which really tries to wrap together pieces that didn't exist at all in any of the Conservation Tillage Handbook or the STEEP reports in terms of thinking forward about the future. So I'm just going to let this slide speak for itself. Thank you, Sanford. All right, and so the last thing I'll put up is some of the continuing efforts that my group is involved with. We're part of the Fire Earth Project. That's an NSF project that's here at U of I. We were awarded at WSU a Columbia River Infuse project from NSF. Still part of the Columbia River Forecast work. We've worked very tightly with the Northwest Climate Hub and expect to continue doing that work. Obviously, we've built agclimate.net as a piece of REACCH as well as some other projects, and we'll continue that. And we're going to keep doing a number of climate-related outreach and extension products, and then case studies, which we really did initiate in REACCH, that other funding sources have said, hey, those are cool, can you do some of that work in other types of cropping systems and livestock production systems? And Georgine will talk about that. All right.